compute the price of a 7-year bond if coupon rate is 14% and interest rate is 16%. Okay. So when you want to compute the bond price, always there are 5 parameters. Keep this in mind. There are 5 parameters. Always you have 4 of them, and you are required to find the 5th one. So the 5 parameters, I list them here. It's future value is the first one. So in the bond calculation, if you don't sell the bond earlier, or if it's not a callable bond, which is not in the scope of this subject, so future value in this example, for example, is face value or par value, let's say. And here, because I didn't give you the face value or future or par value, we assume is $1,000. So the first parameter is face value. Then the second parameter is, let's say, it's N. It's number of periods until maturity. Then it's interest rate is interest rate per period. This is not per year, this is per period. Then we have PMT, which is coupon rate percentage of par value. Par value, as I said, usually in corporate bonds is $1,000. So percentage of $1,000. For example, if the coupon rate is 5%, here is 14%, right? The coupon rate is 14%. So 14% of par value of $1,000 means 140. And in this question, we have these 4. And the 5th one is price. Price of the bond. So these are the 5 parameters. So you need to memorize them. Always there are 5 parameters. Always you have 4 of them, and then you are required to find the 5th one. Sometimes I ask you to compute the price, sometimes N, sometimes PMT, yield to maturity, or future value. Another name for interest rate is yield to maturity. So if you want to use a financial calculator, these are the label for the buttons you need to use. Actually, for Texas Instrument BA2 Plus, it's the 3rd row of the calculator. FV, N, I over Y, PMT, PV. These are the 5 parameters. If you want to use the formula, you need this. You will be using these 5. And even if you want to use the financial calculator, the same 5. But in the calculator, it's exactly the same names on the buttons you can find, and the keys you can find on the financial calculator. Okay, now, for this question, let's assume first it's annual payment. I mean, we haven't mentioned, so by default, we should assume it's annual, means the payment happens every year. The coupon payment is paid per year. But it can be semi-annual, means the coupon payment can be twice a year. So, okay, let's compute these based on the assumption of annual and semi-annual. So here I construct a table. Assuming that first it's annual and then semi. Because usually the bonds pay annually or semi-annually. So let's complete this table like this. So first, FV or face value. What is the face value of this bond? I didn't give it here, so we assume, as I said, by default, when it's not given to you, you need to assume is $1,000. It's the last payment of the bond. So face value is $1,000. FV or par value is $1,000. Then number of periods till maturity. How many years till maturity? It's a 7-year bond. So this means 7 years till maturity. So it's 7. Interest rate per period. It's annual, so it means period is year. So how many percent per year? It's 16% interest rate. So I write here 16. Then PMT means coupon percent of par value. Okay, it's 14% coupon rate, 14% of $1,000. So 14% of $1,000 means 140. And then price, we want to compute the price. So if you want to use the formula for the price, you need to discount the coupons that happens every year and par value separately. So the formula, as you remember, was this. So two components. One is discounting the coupons and then discounting the face value. So you just replace these 4 into the formula and compute the present value. So C is actually the payment. So it will be 140. Then interest rate is 16%, so 0.16. Then 1 minus 1.16, and the power is how many periods till maturity? 7 periods, or 7 years in this case, plus 1,000 divided by 1.16, and power is 7. So you can compute it. Or you may use the financial calculator. You key in these 4 and then you press CPT and PV and you get the answer. And in this case, the price is 919.23. Now let's assume that it's a semi-annual bond, means the payments are paid twice a year. So the period is 6 months. So you need to adjust all this based on the semi-annual assumption. So face value is just one payment. It happens at the end of the maturity. So just one payment at the end of the maturity, 1,000. So it's independent from the periods. So $1,000 won't change for semi-annual. So just write 1,000. The same thing will be here. What about number of periods? Number of periods till maturity is 7 years, and each year it's, because it's semi, each year we have 2 periods. So 7 years till maturity, every year 2 periods, so 14 periods till maturity. Interest rate per period. Interest rate per period is 16% per year, but here period is 6 months. 16% per year means divided by 2, 8% per 6 months, right? So the interest rate per period or interest rate per 6 months is 8% because per year is 16. So per 6 months is 8%. 8% interest rate. Then payment, coupon per year, because it was annual, per year is 140. So per period means if, okay, so the assumption is you will receive $140 payment every year. In other words, you will receive $70 every 6 months. $100 every year. In other words, $70 every 6 months, right? It's the same thing. Now you key in all these data, these 4, into the calculator, and then you press CPT and PV, and you will get 917.56. This is the price of this one. So first I assume that the same question. First I assume that the payments are per year, annual, means the coupons are paid once a year. Then I assume that the coupons are paid twice a year. So I adjusted these 3. So these are the 3 things you need to adjust when it's semi-annual. So I computed the price based on the assumption that it's semi-annual payment. So if you want to use the formula for semi-annual, you just need to enter all these things that you have here into the formula. So this will be 70, this will be 8, this will be 14, and here also, but 1,000 won't change. So you make changes and you compute, and you should get the same answer, 917.56. So this is the way we compute the bond price. This is the formula, and this is the way we use the financial calculator, and done.